I think our cats are hungry. Can you go feed them, please? Nassim, we're live.
I'm aware. We have
Okay.
2 viewers. All right, so let's get started. So welcome to Live with Liz. 35 days from Election Day. Getting near crunch time. So Liz, let's talk about the big breaking news from I guess Sunday. New York Times released information on Donald Trump's tax returns for, from what I can tell, about 15 years worth? Between 15 and 20 years worth of information?
Correct.
10 out of 15 years, Donald Trump paid 0 income tax. 2 of the years, 2016, 2017, he paid $750 in income tax. Virtually every taxpayer in America paid more taxes than Donald Trump. So Liz, what do you think? What did you think when you heard that information?
It's disgusting. Not surprising. I mean, he refused to release the tax returns, and we all know why. I mean, we could assume. Yeah, it's insulting to everyday working Americans, honestly. I've seen so many, memes or tweets of information, showing how much nurses pay in taxes, how much teachers pay in taxes. And here we have Donald Trump, who is a self-proclaimed, millionaire, and $750 in 2018. Was it 18 and 17, I think?
2016 and 2017, I think.
Oh, 16, 17. It's
Yeah.
just,
and then,
of
course, as soon as he got into office, he pushed for to cut taxes more for the wealthy. So
yes, and now we know why.
yeah.
I mean, and one of my initial thoughts is he's, seeing how I have studied the tax code for personal taxes, and everybody's been talking about this. He either is a terrible businessman or he committed a lot of fraud in his taxes, probably deducting expenses that he shouldn't have or expenses that are not eligible.
Like $70,000 for haircuts?
Yeah. And he keeps saying, well, he's claiming it's false news, and he can't release his returns because they're under audit right now. Well, one, yes, you can release them, and number two, it's no surprise that he is under audit. I honestly don't know how much more the American people can take of this man. It's just one thing after the other, and I can't really understand how anybody would support him and just be okay with everything that has gone on. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I think I'm at a loss for words at this point. It's just, it was like the RBG thing and him trying to ram a Supreme Court justice, and then now this income tax news.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot's gone on since our last episode on Thursday. So we will definitely get to Trump's nomination of Amy Coney Barrett for Supreme Court Justice. Liz, did you drop off?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
You were talking, so it's just focusing on you.
So in looking at the information, the story released by the Times, I know that a lot of people are talking about not just the information that was disclosed, but all the other questions that come with it. So in that regard, I mean, obviously it raises more questions. What are some of the questions that you have after looking at the information that was released, or what are some of the concerns that you have?
Well, a big part that was released was all the debt that he is in and is coming due. I think it's in 4 years. And to me, and I think it's been said that it's a national security risk. I mean, it definitely is because, the income tax records don't show who he owes the money to. We, as constituents, can put two and two together. We know several years ago, Eric Trump made a comment that, Trump didn't need the Americans' money because he had, was it foreign banks or banks in other countries? And I
I think
think he
Russia
actually,
specifically.
yeah, I was going to say, I think he specifically said the Russian banks. Everything's, we've always felt that the Russians have him under their thumb and have confirmation of how and why. And he has a lot to lose if he does not win this race. And now we know why he's behaving so desperately. Um, there's been comments about the peaceful transition of power, and I do not have faith whatsoever that that is going to happen. And I've been saying that before he even made those comments. Um, I I feel like I'm in a Handmaid's Tale reality TV show. If anybody here has watched The Handmaid's Tale, it's one of my favorite shows. I love June Osborne. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it. It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu series, actually. And I remember when I first started watching that show, thinking, wow, this is a scary thought. And I remember thinking, God, this could actually happen. Like I could just with the whole political climate and everything that's been going on, I could see us getting to that point. And the closer we get to November 3rd, I feel that way. Um, if you're watching, comment and let me know if you have by chance watched Handmaid's Tale. I'm gonna check. If y'all see me looking over, it's because I'm checking my laptop to see if we have any comments on Facebook. Go ahead, Nassim.
Any
Oh
questions,
yes, we
comments?
will. We will be watching the debate. We're actually going to host a watch party on Facebook. I don't think I can start the watch party until we are live there with that. But I think it starts at 8 p.m. So I'll probably hop on around 7:30. I think there's a pre-debate show. So if y'all want to hop on and watch the Facebook watch party with me, we can kind of talk about the debate. I think Joe Biden has been given a silver platter, so to speak. It's his debate to lose, and so I'm really hoping he does well, and that the debate is fair and that the moderators, are fair with their questions. And I'm really curious if they're going to ask anything about this income tax, these income tax records. We'll see. I think it's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think I've ever looked forward to a debate more than today, for sure.
It's going to be interesting. And I definitely think they ask about the tax returns. And specifically, I'm assuming they're going to ask Trump why he doesn't release his tax returns now, since he's claiming that it's fake news.
He claims he paid millions of dollars. I don't know what number he actually said.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think he's ever given a number. He says he's.
For a second. Oh, you're back. Okay. What'd you say? You're back. I've lost audio. I can't hear you. Hold on. Gosh, nice if we had one of these issues. Nassim? Can you hop out and then maybe hop back in? Oh, hi, Christina. So you have watched the show. Yeah, that show is. I've been wondering when the next season's going to come on. You know, I know with COVID, some of the shows, stopped recording. I'm wondering if that's the case with that one because I feel like it should have already come back on for the next season. Right, right. Nassim is back. Okay, I think you have audio now.
All right.
Thank you, Crystal, for letting me know our status. Crystal, have we met? Where do I know you from? I meet so many people. Tell me how you found me. I'm always curious how people find me. We've been doing literature drops on doors, trying to make sure that people know that Brady does have an opponent and that the people have an option. I've said it multiple times. Democracy doesn't work without a choice, and so and I've been trying to run ads on Facebook to make sure that people know I'm here. So I'm always curious how people find me so I can figure out if what we're doing is working. I know we've had a lot more activity on our website and on Facebook, which is great. So yes, Brady has got to go.
All right. So let's talk about the event you attended over the weekend, the VFW event. You had the opportunity to meet Representative Brady for the first time.
I did. Yeah, so we had an event on, was that Sunday or Saturday? Gosh, all my days are like merging together. um, no, that was
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, we had an event at the VFW in Conroe. I was very excited to be there for a few reasons, and I was so, what is the word I'm looking for? Thrilled, that we had a full slate of Democrat candidates. You know, I I definitely think the VFW has not had that probably in the past, so it was very nice to see that, and I believe all the Democrats on the ballot showed up. They announced every person on the ballot from the top to the bottom, and there were several Republicans that did not attend. Um, so I definitely think it's showing that Montgomery County is changing. We are here, and I think we had great representation by all of our candidates. It was a little dating because a lot of people were not wearing masks, very few, I would say, and Kevin Brady actually showed up. That was a surprise. So I did go up and introduce myself to him. I caught him a little bit off guard. He was sitting at his table, and I went up and kind of leaned over a little bit and I said, Kevin. And he kind of looked over and he didn't have his mask on and he had it, near him and he put it on really fast and he stood up and shook my hand. And, I said, I'm Elizabeth Hernandez. I just thought I would introduce myself. And his only comment to me was that he liked my mask. I was wearing my Elizabeth Hernandez mask, candidate mask. And um, right after that, the photographer came over and took a photo of us. And that was it. I think he left shortly after that. We did stay for the entire event. Um, I never want to like leave events early for a few reasons, but you never know if somebody wants to come and ask you a question. And the gentleman that drove us to the car on the golf cart, because we had to park kind of far out, he was his son, I guess, is a fan of Liz, and he said my son really liked what you had to say. He said, we're a divided house, but and he said, I thought you did a great job too. He said, but we're a divided house. And he said, I really appreciate you staying till the end. That was very classy of you. So it was a great, compliment that I appreciated.
Well, so you did get to speak. Let's talk about what are the issues that you did talk to them about. as far as it relates?
Well, we had 3 minutes, and going into the event, we did not know um, how long we were going to have to talk. We knew that we were going to have some time, but they didn't let us know. So I didn't really have anything prepared, which was worrisome once I got there and they told us 3 minutes. Um, but I tend to do better with not planning a speech anyway. So, I talked a little bit about myself. Um, and as far as veterans, I've talked to some veterans because I want to know, what their issues are. And one of the few of the things is, oversight with the funding. Since I am running for a federal office position, you know, if we allocate to the VFW or to the veteran hospitals, we want to make sure that those funds are utilized for patient care. We have some good experiences and some bad experiences with vets, having either a hard time getting into hospitals or having to wait too long for doctor's visits or not being given the best medications on the market, you know, um, being prescribed something that's outdated. And typically that's because the newer medicines cost a lot more money. And so um, they don't want to prescribe them. And, our veterans deserve to have the they apologize, our dog is barking right now. And so having oversight on that money, because I had articles about situations where hospitals are being overhauled, remodeled, new furniture, and they look like beautiful, campuses. But that money should be used for patient care, not glamorizing a building. And so that was one of the things. And then the medications. And, mental health. I know one thing I mentioned there is we have way too many veterans that are homeless, that are not getting the help they need. Maybe they're drug dependent. Um, those that do get addicted to drugs and live on the streets, because they're not functioning. They need help instead of being put in jail. They need to, have inpatient care, rehabilitation, and also having more transitional services for our service members. One, I can't really imagine because I've not ever been in the service, but to, go to war, to go fight for your country and see what you see, and then back home, maybe even to your family, and to not necessarily cope with what they've experienced, and then have to come home and kind of pretend like everything's okay. All that stuff is still there. And so I imagine it's probably very difficult for veterans to come home and push all of that down. And so we need more assistance with transitioning back into, everyday life, getting jobs, whether it's going to school, um, but more support services, definitely. And I think the stronger our support services are for our veterans once they return home, the better chance they're going to have, at being successful.
Yeah, most definitely. Those are excellent points. And I think that, yeah, I think the veterans that you talk to, I think those are some of the two biggest issues for them.
So Crystal says, let's get Brady out. When she says Brady showed up because he finally has competition. That's absolutely right. That's one of the reasons, and I think I did mention this at the VFW, along with some of the debt numbers. So I mentioned that Brady, when he went into office, we were five trillion in debt, and now we are 26. And Brady's been in office for years at this point. But I also mentioned, Brady has typically gone unopposed. And, democracy doesn't work when you don't have a choice. But I feel very strongly, everybody tells me or questions, why are you running? It's such a red district. Um, but Brady should have to work for his seat, such as showing up to events. It's not okay for him to just roll over every 2 years into the same position and not be challenged. Um, and Crystal, we have actually just ordered 250 more signs. I think they're going to come in tomorrow. I think Thursday, the latest. but we'll probably be dropping off, I would say, a whole bunch of them at the Montgomery County headquarters on Thursday, depending on what time they arrive. So we'll definitely get you a sign.
All right, so let's talk about Trump's Supreme Court nomination.
Oh, yes.
And all of the brouhaha surrounding that. Of course, we all remember what happened with President Obama's last Supreme Court nomination, Merrick Garland. Very fair judge on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, very moderate, well respected. And the Republicans, Mitch McConnell, Republicans in the Senate, didn't even give Judge Garland a hearing, didn't give him a vote, said that because it occurred in the last year of the presidency, and it was early, I think he was nominated in February of that year, February of 2016. They denied him a vote, and then of course filled the seat with Justice Gorsuch after Trump was elected. So now here we are. Right now, 35 days from the election. Trump nominated Judge Barrett on Saturday, I believe. So 39 days before the election. Very, very hypocritical. So what are some of your thoughts about Judge Barrett, Liz?
The whole situation is honestly sickening. Trump wants to get her on the court because, it's coming. Whatever these results are, he's not going to accept unless it's him winning. And he's going to, he's made comments, throw out the ballots. And I'm like, what does he even mean by that? I don't understand what ballots. So he's going to challenge if Biden wins, and he's going to have to do that in court, and it's ultimately probably going to go to the Supreme Court. And so he wants Barrett on that court so that she rules in his favor. So I think that's the urgency of getting her in that seat. I so hope that does not happen, but
yeah, I think that's definitely an urgency. I think another urgency is they are certainly nervous that Trump could lose the election and they would lose that ability to fill that seat. If Judge Barrett does get confirmed, that tips the scale 6-3 with a clear conservative majority, and that that endangers a lot of precedents. The Affordable Care Act. There's still a challenge pending in the Supreme Court to the Affordable Care Act. Republicans are still trying to strike that down. Supreme Court arguments are supposed to be heard, I believe, on November the 10th. And so they won't.
I was going to say it's right after.
For that. Roe versus Wade is constantly under attack. The rights to same-sex marriage, that's under attack. And so there are a number of issues coming up that the conservatives are trying to tip in their favor. And so I think there's a lot of urgency.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting. Judge Barrett was former clerk to Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. I think I've seen her referred to as Scalia 2.0, although a lot of people say she's even worse than Scalia. So it will be an interesting fight.
It would set us back so much when it comes to civil rights and equality if Barrett gets on the Supreme Court. And, we've made a comment or a tweet, and I think I put it on Facebook as well, that if, and this is all dependent on us winning the presidency. If they do get Barrett on the court and we do win the Senate, keep the House and the presidency, the only option I see is us packing the courts, which for those of you that don't know what that term means, Oh, and my comment was if they go low, we pack the court. Um, is we add more justices instead of having the 9, we increase it so that we can add more justices that are not as conservative to equal out. Um, I don't know. I know I've seen Nancy make comments that they've got some, things they can do, and of course they're not going to share that with us. But it's really upsetting what they are trying to do, and especially seeing these comments that every Republican senator or House member made back in, when Obama was trying to get that nomination through. He basically said that if this was, a Democratic, um, if this was to happen and it was a Democratic judge, that he would say we needed to wait, for the people to make that choice.
Oh,
And I
yeah, you're
think he
talking about
used
Lindsey
the
Graham's
words,
statement? Yeah.
yeah, hold it
Yeah, he
against
did.
me, or
Yeah, he said if I think it was in 2018, if a vacancy occurs in the last year of President Trump's presidency and the primary process has started, they would not hold a vote on that Supreme Court justice. And now he's completely backing off that.
yeah. And there's a lot of senators have said the same thing. Well, because it was to their benefit back then. Now it's not to their benefit, so they want to just, they're hypocrites
Yeah,
and they want
I
to.
think I think that they took a calculated risk. I don't think that they ever saw this scenario coming. I mean, what are the chances that a vacancy would come up in the last year of Trump's presidency?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I definitely think they took a risk. It backfired on them, but they don't care. They know that their base isn't going to care. They can say whatever they want, and we will see what happens with Judge Barrett. She's been nominated. I know the Senate's going to try to move quickly. So I think that one thing that we can certainly hope is that this fires up the Democratic base. I think people are tired of their bullshit. I think they're tired of the hypocrisy. People can see what's
Absolutely.
going on. Um, and I mean, just add this to everything else that's gone on during the Trump presidency: the coronavirus failed response, the failed response to Hurricane Harvey, the all of the allegations of corruption, obstruction of Congress. Just so much there. You have to believe that this is going to be a monumental turnout, and probably on both sides. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that the Democrats come out, but I think the Republicans are going to be fired up just as much, if not
Hmm.
more. One thing we can say about Trump's base is they are loyal, and they see what's going on. They see the Democrats getting fired up, and so it's going to be 2020 is going to be definitely an historical election. Um, there
Yeah.
are still time to register. October 5th, the deadline to register in Texas. Although I think if you register on the 5th, you have to personally drop it off
With a
to
BDR.
the yes with a VDR,
Hmm.
and so you can drop it off to any party headquarters, right? So if you're in
Hmm.
Montgomery County, you can drop that off to the Montgomery
Yes.
County
If
headquarters.
you're not sure where to go, call me, send me a message. I will make sure that I point you in the right direction. Because it's absolutely, I mean, we're looking at what, 5 or 6 days now. I don't even know what the date is. 29th. Important that everybody get registered. Oh, and
Yeah,
Crystal
big state.
is a VDR. She says
Oh,
I can
nice.
register people to vote.
Very
Crystal, I'll
nice.
message you an address. If you're in Tomball, it's probably closer for you to come pick the sign up at my house than going to the Montgomery County headquarters. So I will send you a private message. For Harris or Montgomery County. Oh, you can register for both. Okay, awesome.
So, Liz, you mentioned the debate tonight and in the watch party. I certainly hope that everybody's able to tune in for that and comment as the debate is going. Liz will be watching. Liz will be commenting. Um, so, Liz, what are you most interested or curious to see about tonight's debate?
Well, with the latest news on the taxes, I'm definitely interested to see how Trump responds to that. I mean, I figured every Republican is probably hiding under a rock at this point, and Trump would also be hiding under a rock, but because this debate was already scheduled, he kind of has to show up and show his face. So, I'm definitely interested in that, and seeing how Biden, you know, brings that up or responds to it as well. Um, I've seen a post. I want to share it in case you have not seen it, but it's talking about the taxes people paid in 2017. And so, of course, we all know that Trump paid $750. Um, and here are the numbers. Where did it go? Oh, did I lose it? Oh, well, here's another one. We'll go ahead and talk about this in case you haven't seen it, since we're kind of back on this topic. So to Panama, he paid $15,598. To India, $145,400. $156,824 to the Philippines. And that's definitely insulting. Yes. So he paid all of these taxes to other countries and yet a measly $750 to America. That is just insane. Yeah, wow. But the other statistics I was going to share, and I don't know what I did to them because they've seemed to have disappeared, was talking about the amount of taxes that, Kamala has paid, the amount that Biden has paid. There's some other figures on there, and somebody watching may even know what they are. But of course, everyone else had paid, and Trump had not. So other than the taxes, obviously COVID is still very much around, even though Donald Trump wants to pretend that it does not exist. So I hope that is brought up. Over 200,000 Americans have died from corona. And if the president had and leaded, if he as our leader of the country, we wouldn't have 200,000 Americans dead. So I'm obviously interested in seeing how he responds to that, because right now anybody that asks him a question about COVID, with the press, he just kind of blows them off. He ignores them. He looks the other way. Next question. He just avoids it at all. And central debate stage, I think that's going to be difficult. I expect to hear from Biden what his plans are to attack the COVID crisis or the pandemic, and see what he would do differently.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So, you made a comment when we first came on the show today that it's that Biden has the most to lose, and I think that's right. I think that we're going to see just more of the same rhetoric from Trump. Yes, he can in a press conference he can turn away from a reporter and not answer a question, and he does that sometimes. But what he can also do is just give an answer, a canned answer that doesn't really address it, or it's just a flat out lie, and then move on to the next.
Which
question.
He does a lot of that.
And yes,
lying.
so
I mean,
that's what I expect to see. With respect to the taxes, I think it's going to be more of the same. Either fake news and can't release them because of the audit. As soon as the audit's done and I prevail on that, I'll release them. We'll probably hear that. With respect to the coronavirus, I'm sure it's going to be the same tired line. The China ban, the record timing on the vaccine that's coming and promising that it's coming soon. And so, And so, yeah, I mean, and we know that when Trump does that, he doesn't lose anything from his base, and so I'm sure that he's going to
Mm-hmm.
be sticking with that. And so, yeah, I think the pressure is on Biden. How does Biden do articulating his plan, um, and does his plan resonate with the American people? And so,
Gosh, it's so important for people to do their own fact checking. It's just problem is people won't, or his base won't do it. They just follow him blindly.
no, they won't. And we know that Trump's going to get his voters. He's going to get his, 40, 41, 42%. We just need to turn out more. Um, and that's true not just with the presidential race, but with the Senate race. Here in Texas, we've got Senator Cornyn is up against MJ Hager. Obviously, in your race, you're up against Kevin Brady. And everybody needs to get out and vote. And everybody needs to, don't just vote, but talk to people. Tell your friends, tell your family the importance of this election. Tell them about Liz. Tell them we've got a great candidate who's running against the established career 24-year politician, Kevin Brady.
Okay, are you back? I'm back, but you lost sound. What's up with this? You may have to hop out and log back in. I'll tell everybody why you do that. So Nassim went to the car to go get me a different mask, I believe. And are you hopping out? I need you to log off and log back in. So Nassim goes to the car to get me a mask at the VFW event, and they had a golf cart picking you up if you had to park too far. And it just so happens that Kevin Brady is in the golf cart when he gets in the golf cart back to the VFW building with Kevin Brady. And of course, I think he's sitting in the back and Brady's in the front. But he looks over and Brady's car, his license plate is TCJA, which is Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that was implemented in 2018. I'm like, wow, he's really proud of those tax cuts for the wealthy. I just had to mention that to everybody.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, very telling. Um,
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
so it looks like we are at the end of our hour. Um, so
Are we?
we should
I don't think so.
probably close this up. Um,
No, let's take questions. We haven't been on
okay.
an hour yet. It's been 38 minutes. Um, I need to stop say too much. Do we have any questions? I'm looking at Facebook. So Bob Miller's watching. He
Hi,
says
Bob.
Uncle Joe should have an arsenal to use against Rump tonight, but Dems must vote. Absolutely. That's absolutely the truth. So that just kind of goes along with the lines of it's not enough to vote. You have to talk to your friends, get your friends to go vote with you, make sure your friends are registered and hound them before the 5th because, if they don't get registered by then, they vote, and that's obviously not good at all. So I wanted to share, I'm looking for them. Do you remember those Trump signs I showed you? The awesome ones? Thought I made I thought I screenshotted them, but I saw somebody shared, I guess, house on this street where this person takes walks. And I don't know if they put a new sign every day or maybe they just switch them out, but it had some awesome yard signs that are not your typical, they're like a homemade sign, I'm guessing. And one had the sandwich. Do you remember it, Nassim?
Yeah.
Gosh, it was the Trump special. That's what it was called. The Trump special. Oh, I found it. I just found it. Okay, I'm going to the Trump lunch special. White bread, full of bologna with Russian dressing and a small pickle. Okay, that's one.
Sums it up well.
Second one. Person, woman, man, camera, TV, moron. I think those two made me laugh the most. And let's see, here's so this one's I'm just gonna have to describe it. It has two women and it says grab them by the ballot box. And then this one's awesome for Halloween. So this one that says Trumpkin at the top, and it's got a Trump face pumpkin with his hair, his Trump hair that costs $70,000. One more scary orange thing to throw out in early November. For bricks, Trump would have that wall done by now. That's it. I hope y'all enjoyed those because I enjoyed them. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I want those signs in the yard. If anybody knows who made those, please direct them my way. My video is off. It says my video is off. Am I back, Bob?
I can see you.
I don't know. Okay, well, if I was off, we are back. So do we have any questions or comments about anything from our audience?
Make sure everybody out there visit the website, lizfortexas8.com. Tell your friends, tell your family, lizfortexas8.com. Follow Liz on Twitter, Facebook.
I'm trying to see if we have any events coming up. Looking at the calendar real quick. Today's the 29th. Oh, so on October 1st, ooh, that's Thursday. Okay, this will be right before our show on Thursday. So maybe we can talk about this a little bit on Thursday when we go live. It's a meeting with NAMI, the NAMI organization, discussing mental health care needs of the community. So there's a Zoom meeting with several candidates on the 1st. I will see if I can share an event on the page so that if y'all want to join that Zoom, it's a meeting on Zoom. I believe it is open to the public. You probably just have to register for it. So we'll have that on Thursday at 7 p.m. Of course, we have the watch party tonight for the debate. And let's see. I think that's all I see right now. We have the Biden Barkathon Zoom event as well. That's going to be fun. Let me see if we have any
Which one is
comments
that?
over here. It's the Biden Barkathon with our dogs. I think if you want to attend that, you have to send me a message though, because I think it's not like completely open to the public. Bob Miller's asking about kids in cages. Oh, my computer just blacked out on me. So I think Bob is asking if anybody is talking, or he's saying no one's talking about it anymore, the kids in cages. Yeah, it seems like, people have moved on to the latest news, but something that is still a problem. But I'm gonna have to look, Bob, because it hasn't been on the news, and so I don't really know 100% what the status is. I mean, I know it's absolutely terrible and wrong. Have you heard anything, Nassim, to comment on?
Well, they're still locked up while they get processed or deported and separated from their parents. Yeah,
Yeah, one of the last articles I read, which was not that long ago, they were talking about how these kids that come over without their parents. So, some parents, um, from other countries, they send their children across the border by themselves because, their life's in danger. They're fearful for their children, and they know or they think or feel that their children will have a better chance of staying in the United States if they come by themselves. And, that is a huge, I mean, I can't imagine being a mother and sending my child across the border by themselves to go to another country. And that is a huge sacrifice. I mean, that mother never going to see their child again. And just thinking about it gives me chills, honestly. They were saying that instead of giving those children due process and representation, with a lawyer and advocate, they are hiring like contractors to take these kids, and instead of processing them the way they're supposed to, they go check them into hotels by themselves. They're basically guarded, and they might be there for a few days, a week, whatever it is. They're alone, and they basically, whenever they're ready, go and take them back to their original country. They just put them on a flight and send them back. And the article was focusing on the fact that a lot of these kids are basically unaccounted for. Nobody knows where they're at, and it's terrible. I mean, some are still sitting about a young girl that was in a hotel for weeks, and unaccounted for. It's it's terrible that the United States or our leader, or who should be our leader, would choose to just turn a child away in that situation. Because if a mother goes through that much um, effort or risk, sacrifice for their child to have a better life, it probably means they desperately need to be out of that country. um, and America is a country of immigrants. I don't know why or how we got to this place of so much um, hate and divisiveness, and just turning our back on people that need help. I mean, we're all immigrants, so why are we acting like we're better than the people trying to come here now?
No, it started with
So
the
that's
conservative radio back with Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Mark Levin and Alex Jones.
yeah,
That's what they preach. Hate,
it's
divisive.
terrible.
It is. Any other questions?
No, I don't see any. Our kids are going to be home soon, so we probably can go ahead and log off. Um,
Join us tonight for the watch party. Will be
yes,
interesting.
please join us. Thanks for watching, Crystal, Bob, Christina. I don't know if I missed anybody. And we will see y'all tonight. Of course, we can talk tonight on the debate, and then we will be on here Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Um, we have been lit up every morning. I guess started a little bit last night. And I want to, I think it's allergies because right now I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Um, so I don't want to go out and do lit drops right now, just to make sure that it's not something more. But if I have volunteers that are able to make, please PM me. You're not going to see any events right now on my Facebook because I don't want to advertise that I'm going to be there, and I'm not going to be there right now. So once I feel like I'm in the clear, I'll get those events back up. But we definitely, if we have people that want to make lit drops, I can arrange to have Nassim meet you and give you literature. If you have an hour to go make some lit drops, we appreciate it. Whatever. Apartment, we hit some apartments this past weekend, and sometimes they go really fast. And I think we reach out to those in apartment buildings. So just message me if you're able to help with literature drops. And again, my website, lizfortexas8.com. Please like, share, spread the message that Brady has an opponent.
All right.
So thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.